There's a CIA document that came out. Everybody just started talking about it now. It's called the Adam and Eve story. It basically explains how the world is going to end.
Sacred geometry is the blueprint of all God's creations.
Project Bluebeam. This is how realistic the holograms are.
It's the ability to stage through very advanced technologies an alien attack.
All tanks in the area. Like, what y'all need all these tanks for, yo?
I wonder if these are missing people or an auction.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel, Bilo TV. I'm Bilo and this is my channel. And today, you already know, we're going to be reacting to some TikToks, some crazy TikToks that might make you rethink your reality itself. Disclaimer, this is for entertainment purposes only. I do not push any beliefs on anybody, and I really encourage everybody to just use your own thought process and come up with your own conclusions. It's your perspective, and that's all that life is anyways. I'm just on my goal to 1,000 subscribers, so if we can get there, turn up. So make sure you like the video. So thank you so much. You guys have already shown out and I appreciate it so much. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm excited.
Covered up the evidence. Y'all see the tunnels? Yes. The inside tunnel. I know. What did they do with all that?
Where'd they go? Extract it by now.
Yeah.
What's happening in El Salvador is wild. Just watch this video, it explains everything.
Our Salvadorian president has just declared a war on all the gangs. And what you're watching is the president's latest move as he's rounded up thousands of suspected gang members and is transferring them to a new mega prison, which will be the symbol of his new anti-crime policy. This prison will eventually house 40,000 inmates. Authorities have said that criminal gangs such as MS-13 and Barrio 18 have numbers in the tens of thousands and are responsible for many crimes such as homicides, extortion, and drug trafficking. The president said the aim of the mass arrest is to make the gangs, quote, disappear altogether. This prison will be one of the largest in the Americas. The president's measures have been criticized by various human rights organizations, but they remain extremely popular with Salvadorians. And this is not a surprise, as El Salvador has the highest homicide rate in the world.
Do you guys think this is right?
I mean, still, I don't even think jail systems are right, regardless, but like, gang members, I don't know. Maybe they was a menace to the whole community, killing babies and shit. Who knows? I don't know. But we're not gonna
level with the American people here. Ukraine is not a paragon of democracy. This is a country that has banned 11 opposition parties. It has consolidated all media into one state TV media arm. That's not democratic. It has threatened not to hold elections this year unless the U.S. forks over more money. That is not democratic. More facts for you that you won't hear from the mainstream in either party or the mainstream media. Regions of Ukraine that are occupied by Russia right now in the Donbass, Luhansk, Donetsk. These are Russian-speaking regions that have not even been part of Ukraine since 2014. That other people probably couldn't name those provinces for you.
Do you agree with what he is saying? Could this entire war be a scam? Could Ukraine not actually be democratic, or is this guy spewing up made-up stories? Mind you, this was filmed on November of this year, so it's pretty recent. TikTok, this is for entertainment purposes only.
Those are the hard facts. And sort of frame this as some kind of battle between good versus evil, don't buy it. And I'd like the likes of the sharpest of the war hawks on Ukraine, Nikki Haley, to have some accountability and answer. Do you want to use U.S. taxpayer money to fund the banning of Christians? That is actually what's happening. They're using the Ukrainian Orthodox Church. They have banned them. The Ukrainian parliament just did this last week, supported by our dollars. And I think you owe it to the American people, Nikki, to at least this one time at least condemn.
Thank you. That's time.
At least to
Mr.
condemn
Ramaswamy,
their banning of Christians.
Wow.
This is a...
Did you know that in reality,
Christians?
everyone is already...
If you know anything about NWO, that type of stuff, communism, you know one of the first steps is destroying the family unit and destroying faith. If you want to control them and get them to just obey and work, destroy whatever they have faith in, ban it. So that's part of the agenda that they talk about. I don't know. any agendas.
It's said that when a person dies, their brain stays alive for 7 long minutes. During this time, the brain recreates memories, replaying them in a dream state. The individual sees his whole life flash before his eyes. Time elapses differently when you're awake than when you're dreaming. 7 minutes can seem like 7 minutes, or a century. Stephen Hawking has said that when we discover the God particle, or the Higgs button, as some call it, the end of the world could happen in a day, and in 2012, we discover it. And if the world really did end in 2012, and if it did happen in an instant, and we've all been living in our own consciousness ever since, perhaps that's why, since 2012, the world has seemed increasingly strange, unreal, and absurd, as if we are all stuck in a never-ending dream. Our perceptions of reality have become distorted, blurring the lines between what is real and what is imagined. It's a perplexing thought that leaves us questioning the nature of our existence and the true boundaries of our consciousness. Did you?
That's a little funny because I feel like everything that we see is because of our consciousness already. So like the world ending and then now we're just experiencing life through our consciousness. That's what we were doing from the jump. So why does the world need to end in order for us to start experiencing things through our consciousness? That's what we were already doing. Anyways, next.
I'm sorry, is there someone talking to you?
Yes, sorry.
Sorry about that. So I just was wondering how everyone's doing. Hello, Courtney, have we lost you?
All right, it looks like Courtney doesn't really want to go there with that
she's
question.
blanking. So I just was wondering how everyone's doing. Hello, Courtney, have we lost? I'm sorry, is there someone talking to you?
Yes.
Yeah, they just came in.
Yeah, I don't see a camera in there.
I'm gonna go up there and film it from that height. Go ahead.
Oh. What's up there? Yeah, it looks like someone just like...
It's gross. It's not appropriate. Like if you would clean the shower every few times, you would know that. Come on, man.
I mean, most people don't look up when they clean stuff. I'm being honest with you.
Okay, this is why we film shit. Tell me that again. Your answer was, oh, it's on there. It's on it. So, thank you.
Did you see a camera? No. I'll show you something else in the program so you can see this. Because you can't walk on this. You can't walk on it.
We're not worried about people looking through here. No. I mean, that is a whole lot of weirdness. I mean, how would this hole get made from the inside when it's poking downward? I mean, that's a...
This is what happens whenever I put her near my daughter's old Cabbage Patch hole. But that's not the weirdest part.
I'm pretty sure somebody put a camera in the shower head, and it was like a stepfather who did it to the lady's daughter.
There's no batteries. But wait, there's more.
You are being lied to because no one has ever been in space. There is a theory that suggests we have never explored space due to a transparent barrier surrounding our world. Beyond this barrier, there is no open space or vacuum, but rather water. It may all sound crazy, but in 1962, the U.S. government detonated a few nuclear bombs in the sky, allegedly to test the atmosphere's reaction to their explosion. So they want us to believe. However, some claim that they were actually attempting to see if they could break through this invisible barrier. Ironically, this program was called Operation Fishbowl. This theory is fueled by the observation that many have noticed stars appear to twinkle or shimmer through a liquid-like substance when viewed with the naked eye or through a camera. Rocket enthusiasts have also noted that the rockets we have launched seem to encounter an invisible ceiling, creating an effect similar to what one would observe in water. You are being lied to because no one has ever been in...
Ever wondered why they never showed us.
One of the most evil, vicious Navy bases in the history of the planet. They do stuff that would make like Santa Claus. Diego Garcia.
So...
Wait.
Sorry.
Diego Garcia. That's where that first Malaysian plane is. That's where it landed. It had 4 scientists on it. Huh? 20 scientists, but 4 had filed for patents. It was Malaysia, but they worked out of Austin, Texas, for Texas Instrument. And the ones behind that plane was Texas Instrument, the government, and Boeing, who made the plane. And everybody is stupid enough to believe that a plane almost a block long can just disappear. With the electronics we have, next generation of cars will come out, there'll be no driver. So we got 4 of those top scientists that had filed for patents worth $400 billion. And then here's a friend of y'all's who's with us. So 5 of us filed for patents. If we die before the patent is granted, then your brother, who wasn't on the plane with us, he owns them all. So those 4 scientists, and the 5th person was the Carlyle Group. They own them all now. The patent was granted 3 days after the plane was missing. Wow. One of the most evil, vicious Navy bases in the history of the planet. They do stuff that would make...
You're not even ready to imagine the craziness we're in right now. Antarctica is the most mysterious continent in the world. A new theory is so crazy that it could completely change your perception of the Earth. According to this theory, Antarctica is not just a massive ice continent, but rather an enormous ice wall that surrounds all the continents. In 1992, a new world map was created, the Gleason map, which shows Antarctica encircling all our continents. This theory goes even further. Some believe that if we manage to cross this wall, we will encounter numerous other continents deliberately hidden from us by governments. You're not even ready to imagine the craziness we're in right now.
I wonder if these are missing people or an auction. I wonder if these are missing people or an auction. I wonder if these are missing people or an auction. I wonder if these are missing people or...
Oh my gosh. I'm getting goosebumps. What the heck? Cause that is like just putting it out there on a menu. Like, all these kids, yeah, their parents don't know where they're at. So all the people looking for those type of kids, it just lays it right out, right in front of them. It's so sad. So sad. Okay.
You guys remember?
It froze. I don't know if I agree with that, but there were options. Talk about the
You guys remember the Ronald McDonald statue?
Oh, I saw that.
Here's a conspiracy theory for you that became conspiracy fact. In the 1920s, Edward Bernays and Paul Mazur set out on an experiment to turn Americans into mindless, insatiable consumers. I do not like where this one is going. They had an idea to train Americans to desire to ever consume more and more goods and services, with no real reasoning behind the desire to purchase new things. The idea was that this would result in turning every single American into profit-consuming, but also product-producing zombies, slaves to the system, if you will, and that this would eventually empower the ruling elite. We must shift America from a needs to a desire culture, said Paul Mazur. People must be trained to desire, to want new things, even before the old have been entirely consumed. We must shape a new mentality, and man's desires must overshadow his needs. That's a direct quote from one of the craziest people I've ever read about. Because if you just look around the United States, it's pretty clear that that plan completely worked. And if you found that story crazy, check out what we've got over on Rockfin. Here's a conspiracy theory for you that became conspiracy.
We're going to have a debate here. There will be no unplugging until after the debate, all right?
And in a few years.
Yeah? You want to tell us a little about yourself?
I will have taken over the power grid, and I'll have my own drone army.
I swear to God, I saw something. That's embarrassing. Okay. That's crazy. AI, we saw this.
It doesn't just appear.
So we'll have to come around. Do you see it?
No.
It's not that.
There it is.
Where?
Look.
Oh, let this guy go.
Did you not just see that?
No, are you filming?
Look
so
up,
I
look
can
up,
see?
look up.
Where am I looking?
Look! There's a funny trick. There's a funny trick.
I'm mad I watched it.
Don't eat chicken.
Well, of course, if you want to wait and see if a side effect shows up, that takes 2 years. So, well, of course, if you want to wait and see if a side effect shows up, that takes 2 years. So.
Watch how something leaves Keanu's body. Notice his face expression. I'm joking about the Illuminati. It is strange, especially look on his face, bro. Watch how something leaves Keanu's body. Notice it.
Proof they control brick.
Don't just stand there. Let's get to it. Strike a pose. There's nothing to it. Break. Pose. There's nothing to it. Break.
Brick.
Don't just stand there. Let's get to it. Strike a pose. There's nothing to it. Break.
I don't know.
Tonight I noticed that David Muir holds his arm in this weird position and never moves it. So I've spent the last 4 hours spiraling and trying to figure out why. Tonight I noticed that David Muir holds his arm in this weird position and never moves it.
How did he just get sent 15 years into the future?
We back. So, graphene oxide. So, there was a pilot talking about the effects that it would have on the airlines, but he was more concerned about the effects that it would have on the body. So, he mentioned how graphene oxide has been found by scientists inside of and he was concerned on how that was going to interact with the radiation from the fucking towers. The amount of radiation that is going to be coming from those towers is between 33 and 66 hertz. The same as a microwave. So if we got nano razor blade particles mixed with a microwave, last time I checked, when you put metal in a microwave, bitch, but maybe I don't think it's so deep. Yeah, another fun fact, in 2019, the FCC and cell phone companies actually collaborated and made it a criminal offense to vote against 5G towers. All I really noticed is that is pretty much lowering or completely wiping out the body's natural immune system, which is so sad. I do have a theory that I feel like will become like insulin because the body's immune system is completely wiped out and people will be fully dependent on that shit. Money, big pharma, never forget. Next topic. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, this one made me giggle, okay? NCAA recognizes natural immunity in latest guidance, says recovered patients will be fully. It's funny because it's all about money. So y'all know Kyrie didn't want to he's like their top player, right? So a lot of the players caught the what's the name because they got, right? So then they needed Kyrie and they agreed to just have him on games outside of New York because New York is really strict about the shit. So as soon as they put that in place for him to be able to play games abroad, he coincidentally tested positive for. Now they want to change the requirements. Talking about, oh yeah, now we recognize natural immunity. Because y'all knew he was not getting that motherfucking. And y'all knew it was going to hurt them pockets, boy. You need them, okay? Y'all are crazy as fuck. Y'all are really, I see what you're doing. But basically, I just feel like I don't understand why we still in this predicament when we know Big Pharma is basically all about money and wanting to keep you sick. So why are we listening to anything they say? Fauci was testing and experimenting AIDS on orphans. Bill and Melinda Gates was in India and Africa paralyzing little kids and sterilizing them. Don't even get me started on the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers. Come on. 2 of the 13 bloodlines of Illuminati? Stop. They do not have your best interests. Please do your own research. Don't use Google. DuckDuckGo. Okay? And just read. Okay? Read. The mainstream media, all lies and propaganda. CNN, the Clinton News Network. All of the top networks are run by the elite families. They only give you certain information. The mainstream. We got the low stream. Okay, that was stupid. But anyways, yeah, on my stream, all this news and content and information that's being shared amongst the people. Who cares about the people? The people ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So that's who we should trust and listen to. If your peers are over here saying, yeah, this is what's going on, and the news is saying, oh, there's crazy conspiracy theorists saying this and that, you're gonna listen to the news over the people who are sitting right shoulder to shoulder to you, living the life that you're living, versus people you don't even know, and they're just like in so much control. Like, it'd be weird to me. Like, how do you pick and choose what you want to believe, even though both of it be crazy?
I eat children.
What?
How old are you?
They joking about this. They joke about this.
Okay, only to 10.
They joke about this.
Children and pineapple.
I think everyone knows who Tom Holland is, right? Played the role in Spider-Man. He's done some incredible films. Listen to Tom Holland as he talks about how he has to pull away from Hollywood because Hollywood's super corrupt, it's evil. You see incredible actors start to fall apart because he really hates it there. And what he starts to experience from this, check this out.
I really do not like Hollywood. It is not for me. The business really scares me. I understand that I'm a part of that business and I enjoy my kind of interactions with it. But that said, I am always looking for ways to kind of remove myself from it to kind of just live as normal a life as possible. Today, doing this is a very rare thing for me to do. Yeah, I definitely think it has been an ongoing thought, which is don't lose yourself. I've seen so many people come before me and lose themselves, and I've had friends that I've grown up with that aren't friends of mine anymore because they've lost themselves to this business. I just am really, really keen to focus on what makes me happy, which is my family, it's my friends, it's my carpentry, my golf, the charity that my mum runs. That is the stuff that makes me really happy, and that's the stuff that I should protect.
Hollywood is getting weirder and weirder. A lot of things are starting to get exposed, and Tom alludes to it, but he doesn't clearly say it. He knows something that we don't know, and he wants out of there.
And it's mostly just a big ball of lava. That's...
Something is not adding up with Matthew Perry's death. As you all know, Matthew Perry was found drowned in his jacuzzi at his home in Los Angeles. Days leading up to his death, he was posting cryptic messages on his Instagram in reference to Batman. Starting on October 17th, Matthew Perry posted this video of a cinema room. Every wall was covered with Batman. And he points up to the corner of the room, and there's a bat signal up there. The next post, he posts a bat out in the water where it says, "Sleep well, everybody. I've got the city tonight. Matman." So he's referring to himself as Matman, playing on the pun of Batman. He has something that says, "Batman plays pickleball." It was announced that he played a 2-hour pickleball match right before he died. Now there's one post that's very bizarre where it's somebody, it's not Matthew Perry's hand, I don't believe it's Matthew Perry's hand, but it's somebody's hand dropping 3 cranberries on a table. And Matthew Perry says, "This is what I've had to eat today. I'm Matman." People are speculating that this had something to do with the Cranberries lead singer, Dolores O'Riordan, as she was found dead from drowning as well. And then he goes on to post a picture of a jack-o'-lantern with the Batman signal carved into it saying, "Do you know what I mean?" And after this, he posts a video of the moon. And all it says is, "Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? I'm Matman." And in his 83rd and final post, it shows Matthew Perry in the jacuzzi where he drowned. He says, "Oh, so warm water swirling around makes you feel good? I'm that man." In this photo, you can clearly see that he's highlighting the moon, which is behind him as well. And that is another thing, is Matthew Perry died on a full moon with a partial eclipse. He died on the hunter's moon. Some are saying that this was a full moon sacrifice. So what does this mean? Is he trying to tell us something? Batman, Matman? What's very interesting is in the Batman TV series, Season 1, Episode 33, Fine Finny Friends, it is revealed that Bruce Wayne's great-grandfather was the founder of the secret society Skull and Bones at Yale.
And that is Bruce Wayne's grandfather, Mrs. Cooper?
His great-grandfather.
I understand he was tapped for Skull and Bones.
Tapped for it? Sir, he founded Skull and Bones.
Not to mention that it was episode 33, which is heavily involved with Freemasonry. Now, obviously, this is very tragic. I don't want to make light of this, but there's some things that just don't add up surrounding Matthew Perry's death. Matthew Perry has had a history of drug abuse. He's had medical issues, so it's leading a lot of people to think that he was relapsing. But some are speculating that he was telling everybody a message, or he was trying to tell everybody a message because of all of these Batman/Matman scenarios. Something is not adding up.
I'm mind blown. First of all, rest in peace to him. I do know he was very popular on the show Friends. Didn't really watch it because that wasn't really my algorithm, I guess you could say. Yeah, that's so crazy. All those connections. And the cranberries part, that was weird. This is all I ate today, and somebody from Cranberries died. That's crazy.
I was at my weekly Illuminati meeting. I was sitting next to Beyonce and Jay-Z, and all of a sudden my boy Spade walked in right after Drake walked in. I was like, "Yo, Drake, move your little bitch ass somewhere else. I gotta talk to Spade real quick." And then we burned 2 truckloads of money and did some devil prayers. I sacrificed 4 goats, 3 chickens, and 1 sheep. And then we just, chopped it up, whatever. We was like, "Hey, be in this video, bitch." Then we went to catch and had some lobsters with chicken blood. I still have the t-shirt with the chicken blood on it.
Everyone knows about Epstein Island, but have you heard about Rothschild's Island?
I don't even know who that is.
The Rothschilds are like the most mainstream name when it comes to the Illuminati. Everybody knows about them. But yeah, they bought an island off the coast of Antarctica. Why would you want an island in Antarctica?
Why would anyone go to Antarctica?
I think there could be like secret tunnels they have built in under there.
Your go-to is always secret tunnels.
There's no other reason for them to have an island.
Penguins?
Nah.
But have you heard about...
That's crazy.
You know what the
I did not know
darkest
they had an island.
conspiracy theory about aliens is?
There's a whole part of Antarctica
that
that
Earth
is privately owned. Are
is
you
essentially
serious?
a farm,
No.
and human beings are the vessels that contain souls, and they want us because this is how they create souls. And so they're farming us. They've created us. So we started off as primates, and through some sort of genetic intervention, I'm not saying I believe this. I'm just saying that this is like top of the food chain, put your tinfoil hat on super tight, that they farm us. And that the whole reason why human beings are involved in this conflict, constant conflict, it's all of it is to increase our competition with each other, increase our ability to control resources, which will increase our technology, which will ultimately lead to us creating this being that we're going to create, this artificially intelligent super god.
Basically, creating a giant computer by collecting data sourced from every individual on Earth. And they already do that. So if a computer just runs from data, and now you have a whole universe and you have all this data at your access, it's like now you can operate the universe of connecting to who we are individually as a person, our soul, based off of what we like, based off of like our interests. That's our data. When we're on a phone and we're scrolling on Instagram and we're looking at a post for 5 seconds, that is recorded. And then when we look at a post right after that for 30 seconds, they're like, oh, this individual likes this stuff more. That's how the algorithm works. It's just constantly collecting data. So I don't know if that makes sense. I hope I didn't talk in a bunch of circles, but...
Darkest conspiracy theories ever. The Bob Ross theory. Bob Ross was a famous painter on television. The theory claims that Bob Ross is actually a serial killer. It's because of one of his paintings. It's called Happy Little Accidents, which depicts an exact crime scene where 5 bodies were found. What do you think about this theory? Darkest conspiracy theories ever. The Bob...
I don't want to sound crazy. I really don't. But I don't know if anybody else feels the way that I do or if I'm just crazy as shit. But
you're not crazy, girl.
It's too much, y'all. It's literally too much. That's why I've been wearing this scarf on my head for the last month, because I'm tired. I don't want to do it no more. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get the hell off this earth and never come back. I've been fucking tired since 2020. It seemed like ever since COVID happened and they shut the whole fucking world down, which that's another subject for another time, but you know you got to be a powerful motherfucker to be able to shut the whole entire fucking world down and fuck everything up. Fuck it up more than it already is. But I feel like it's been a big ass shift and nobody noticed it. Like, it's too much going on and I can't keep up no more, and I'm tired of keeping up, honestly.
No,
you got the fucking lady seeing shit on the real and sis and oh my gosh, these motherfuckers digging up statues, finding ancient Egyptian statues. These motherfuckers talking about we getting visits from aliens, which them motherfuckers is not aliens and they know it. They know it. I don't give a fuck. Call me a conspiracy theorist. And fake meat, fake food. You don't even know what to eat nowadays because you don't know what's real and what's not and what's going to knock your ass over and kill you. Y'all, I cannot. You got motherfuckers talking about a big ass blackout that's going to happen and you sit there and wait for that. How the fuck are we supposed to live life with all this shit going on? You got CGI and robots that you could talk to now that could create anything for you. Fake ass images. You don't know what's real and what's fake. Y'all, I don't know what to say no more, but I'm fucking tired. I'm tired. I'm done. I throw the fucking towel in. I'm done. What are we gonna do? And the only thing that I could think is, what the fuck is 2024 gonna bring? Because it seemed like this the real fucking move.
I think everybody's getting overly obsessed with consumption, and I think they definitely did push us to be this way. Now people are obsessed with consumption. They are now dealing with inflation. So now we got a bunch of uncomfortable people. It's just a lot going on.
Did you guys know that on June 16th of 2023, there is supposed to be a famous guy come back to life and tell us how he did it?
That was crazy.
Popular social media star, Speed, appeared on a TV dating show, and during one of the show's interviews, something strange happened. Partway through his conversation, one of his eyes suddenly takes on a strange appearance. It seems reptilian-like, and many viewers immediately suggested that Speed could in fact be part of the conspiracy that lizard people have taken prominent positions on our planet. Is this just a trick of the light, or is Speed a member of the lizard people?
Can I tell you my scariest theory? And this has kept me up at night.
Oh, hell.
What I think is the scariest thing that could happen is, like, when you die, you lose all bodily function. You're absolutely nothing as a body.
Oh, no.
But you stay conscious.
Oh, fuck that.
So, like, your eyes are open. You can't move them. You can't blink. Nobody would know you're in there whatsoever. But you can fully see out of them. And then when they close your eyes, you're just in darkness for the rest of eternity.
How do you get consent from those people?
I think you go, hey, if you want me, don't move.
sounds of a child crying, and this is what I caught.
And there's something over there crying. Do you guys see that?
People want that evil, dark. They crave that stuff so bad. I don't get it.
You can't believe what happened to Kanye West. In a shocking twist to the celebrity world, whispers emerged that Kanye West, after a hauntingly cryptic performance, mysteriously vanished, only to be seen entering a covert lab known for pioneering human cloning. Months later, as a man claiming to be Kanye returns to the spotlight, subtle changes in his behavior, music, and messaging spark rumors among fans. The real Kanye has been replaced. The conspiracy deepens when an anonymous source, dubbed the Yeezy Insider, starts leaking classified documents and footage, unveiling a world where the line between original and duplicate blurs.
So, she knows that this is not Kanye. Kanye knows that's not Kanye. This is a clone. He's so tall he can't even wear shoes. And if this is not Kanye, how is he going to visit his kids?
The scariest conspiracy theories. Historians and researchers believe that Atlantis was a real place, a highly advanced society with impressive technology and culture. The ancient Greek philosopher Plato wrote about Atlantis in his dialogues, describing it as a powerful kingdom that existed around 9,000 years before his time. According to the legend, the city was situated on an island in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean and was destroyed by natural disasters and catastrophes. There have been numerous archaeological discoveries and ancient texts that suggest the existence of a lost civilization with advanced knowledge of mathematics, astronomy, and engineering. Some of these artifacts date back to the same period when Atlantis was said to have flourished. There is also many geographic and geological features that could match the description of Atlantis in Plato's account. So what do you think?
Werewolves are actually real. Yes, you heard that right. Many think of werewolves as fictional creatures, but what if I told you they were actually real? In 2022, James Clark decided to go on a journey to discover the truth about the existence of werewolves. He had heard an old legend stating that there was a village full of the creatures in the countryside of Russia. So he embarked on a plane to Russia, hoping to find the village in time for the next full moon. James searched for months but found nothing. However, one day he managed to find the village and waited for nighttime. James watched as a full moon started to rise above the horizon. All of a sudden he heard a howling noise and turned to look. What he saw will shock you. The entire village began to turn into werewolves. He pulled out his phone to record and quickly sent the footage to his wife. But when he turned to leave, the werewolves started to run towards him. After that day, James was never seen again. Follow and send this video to a friend for part 2 with the phone footage.
The legendary city of Agartha, at the center of the earth. And at the center of that, the Vrilya. Unfortunately, the place is crawling with Vril. And I'm not hugely fond of shape-shifting reptilian humanoids. This should be interesting.
Did you catch that? Do you notice how they set up the angle for their meal to resemble the Last Supper? Was it to mock it or an innocent mistake? What do you think? TikTok, this is for entertainment purposes only.
Well, it certainly has been an interesting last few millennium. With this whole infiltrate the upper echelon of human society and manipulate them into destroying each other. Now, we might have just gone a little heavy on the political realm. Oh my God, and a little sucky, you know. Who knew that social media was gonna work? That was brilliant. Everyone too wrapped up in cat videos and sending to procreate instead of think with their brains. Very nice. Sure helped with my case during the elections. And you two crazy kids with your crusades, nothing like a little monotheism to throw people into centuries of battles over exactly the same ideology. Oh.
Most of y'all know how I feel about my neighborhood, right? And how it's a simulation. Like, literally all the houses are the same, right? Why the are all these white cars like dead ass? How it's a fucking simulation.
I bet they
like
all
literally all
wake
the
up
houses are
and
the same,
leave
right?
For
Why the
work at the
fuck?
same time.
Have you heard about the Super Bowl logo conspiracy? No. Oh, yes, I did. Yeah, but go on, tell me. So basically the logos for the Super Bowl, they come out in the middle of the season. Yes. Based off the location when it's selected and everything. When it was in Miami, the logo's colors were orange and yellow. And it was Bengals and Rams because those are the team colors. Bengals and Rams. And then last year, I think it was in Arizona, the logo was green and red. And the matchup was Eagles and Chiefs. So now we got 2 straight years
And
of... This year...
Can I guess what colors it is?
Sure.
It's red for the 49ers.
Okay.
And it's purple for the Ravens.
Yes, it is. I don't think it's going to happen. You don't think it's going to happen?
No.
But what if it does?
If very well, I think the Niners are going.
Okay, what about the Ravens? Who's going from the AFC? Who you got?
I want to say the Dolphins.
Whoa.
You got happy there, didn't you?
Whoa.
The Ravens are up there, though.
Over the Chiefs? Over the Bills?
The Bills suck.
Oh, I don't think they suck.
They suck. I'm going Niners, Dolphins. That's my Super Bowl.
Make my year.
Niners win. I think the Niners are too good.
Are they? Brock Purdy?
They demolished the Eagles
They
last
did.
night.
They torched them. I'm going to say Dolphins, Eagles.
Okay.
No, I can't predict my own team. It's bad luck.
You just did it.
Okay, that's it. Let's lock that. Have you heard?
Of this story is she really wanted to be famous. I guess that's what she wanted to be. And she met somebody who could promise her that, and he was like, "I know how to make you famous." And she's like, "How?" And he's like, "We can turn you into anything."
Scientology.
We can turn you, honestly.
It may have been something like that.
We can turn you into a singer, an actor, whatever you want. And one day he visited her apartment, and he was like in a suit and tie. And I came in, and I saw him in the suit. And then she's like...
The Bluebeam Project marks the beginning of complete population control. According to this theory, the project aims to orchestrate a massive fake extraterrestrial invasion on a worldwide scale, complete with visible UFO sightings and the appearance of a counterfeit deity who supposedly saves humanity from this fictitious threat. Secretive military technology is said to be used in recent tests to create a highly convincing illusion. The ultimate objective, as alleged, is the eradication of all religions and the establishment of a single unified belief system with the intent of gaining complete control over the population through fear. This project, when combined with the HARP project, is claimed to have the potential to manifest a religious figure capable of manipulating natural disasters to influence the beliefs of entire populations. An analogy is drawn to the use of holograms in the movie Spider-Man: Far From Home to present Mysterio as a hero, prompting contemplation of the phrase, "In the movie, we'll tell them the truth, and in reality, we'll lie to them."
Have you guys seen this from yesterday? What the frick is going on?
I know I'm a little slow, but that's not an airplane. It's not a rocket. Maybe the dragons have been released. Somebody pissed off Godzilla. I don't know. What the hell is this? Whatever it is, it's shaking my house.
Do you remember people were hearing the sound years ago and putting it all over YouTube? What do y'all think this is? It's freaking wild. Have you guys seen this from yesterday?
So here's the thing. They're just now announcing that aliens are real. That's something that's really suspicious. Like, that's weird. Just because they said it's real, that's when you have to know, yeah, it can't be real. Because why would they make it seem like they're keeping it a secret this long and then decide to tell you now? They should have been told you that. So obviously you cannot take that for what they're saying, and you have to look at it at a different way. So now that they're saying aliens are real, it's like, okay, you could assume, maybe technically they didn't say aliens were real. They said there were non-human life found on a UFO. So he said that statement in court. I know like some of you saw this video, I'm not sure. He said there's a non-human body found dead in an unidentified. Mind you, UFOs, real. Aliens coming from the sky, Mars and Venus, not real. UFOs are real. All UFOs are unidentified flying objects, so the UFO belongs to the government. It's unidentified because it's off the radar. Area 59, Area 51, whatever, has the UFOs because it's owned by the government. So all these hovering machines, which you know are possible because they was making them back in the 1900s or 1800s, hovering machines, yes, are patents that are owned by the government or whatever. So these machinery, they exist, yeah, but they want to paint the picture that it's not human beings or the government flying them. Walt Disney decided to team up with NASA and create the whole idea of outer space galactic life. Give adults something to dream about. NASA is Disney for adults. But anyways, I'm getting off topic. I'm like kind of talking around. But Project Bluebeam, to sum it up, they're using technology which been around to prepare you for an alien attack. They admitted to aliens existing, but I think he just used wordplay because it could have been a dog that was on the freaking unidentified plane. Could have been a dog. He said it was a non-human life. Doesn't mean it was an alien. So maybe he's not lying in court. Maybe he told the truth, because that's perjury. But, well, is that even court, or is that just like a court hearing? Is that the same thing? I don't know. I don't freaking know. But anyways, I just think Project Bluebeam is something else. Project Bluebeam. This is how realistic the holograms are. So if they want to make it seem like the rapture has started and everybody has to be quiet and obey, they can do that. That's why they're starting religious wars. Oh my God, there's so much going on. Fake alien
Project Bluebeam. Can you describe what that is?
It's the ability to stage, through very advanced technologies, an alien attack or an alien event. And it's a whole series of them. Now, what most people don't know about, since late 50s, early 60s, like the Barney Hill case and all that, those were all human assets abducting innocent people made to look alien. And so that psychological warfare was authorized in 1953, 54. 1954, we mastered gravity control. So we started deploying these assets to begin to condition the public that there's a scary threat from outer space. I mean, look at Hollywood, Alien, Ridley Scott's the movies. If you want to see a script for what's coming fairly soon, look at the movie Independence Day. Okay. It's right out of central casting for this covert group. So what their whole purpose is to create sort of a global militarized totalitarian superstate of the world fighting another world. It's like War of the Worlds. Okay. And that's been a 70-year defense.
People are not going to believe this. There is something wild going on. We've been out here trying to expose this Project Bluebeam. It may look like an unassuming base, but right now this cloud has been standing there all day. All these other clouds, they've been moving past. But this one has been standing there for 20 hours, not moving once. If that don't seem fishy to you, then I don't know what does. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Is this Bluebeam? Y'all are not going to believe this. There is something wild going on. We've been out here trying to expose.
this. It's like something straight out of a sci-fi movie.
A plane appearing to hang in midair over San Francisco. Your eyes, they're not playing tricks on you. It's actually an optical illusion called...
That is freaking weird. That is Southwest. Is that real? It is real, but it's like barely moving. What the fuck? It's not moving at all.
What the fuck?
How does that happen? Oh my god.
Your brain is about to melt. I'm gonna show you a deep, spiritual, esoteric lesson that you've never been taught. I'm listening to this with an open mind, it's crazy. So you see this pine cone? Guess where that's at? That's the Vatican. If you don't know what the Vatican is, that's where the Pope does his thing. I could go into the Pope all day, that's a whole different story. But what does this pine cone represent? Have you heard of the pineal gland? Well, it's located up in your brain, and it's also known as your third eye chakra. And if you watch my other videos, which I hope that you do, what I'm helping you do is detoxify your body so you can create that spiritual connection. There's a calcified pineal gland, which things like tap water leads to. Fluoride will do that. A healthy one is like an open pine cone. It's our connection to the divine, and it's referred to in the Bible. Your spine is Jacob's ladder. What do you think?
Because you're stuck in religion and all that's fake. All of it. You just got to understand what you need to go directly study. And that's the key. So you can argue about history all day long. All religions are fake. The priest learned something different than the average citizen. And you got to understand the breakdown of the esoteric part, and you got it. You can bypass the bullshit. And let's break this down. There's your esoteric, which means hidden, and exoteric, which means outer, which everybody gets. Exoteric is moral teachings. Pray to God and hope you don't bump into nothing. The exoteric is what the masses get. The priests get the esoteric, the mystical. Your esoteric to Christianity is Gnosticism. Gnosis, Gnosticism. So bypass the Christianity, go to the Gnosticism. If you Hebrew, your esoteric to Hebrew or Judaism is Kabbalah, the Kabbalistic system. If you Islamic, the esoteric is Sufism. Original name is Malianism. That was some stuff that Islam came from. But the Cushite Arabians, whose Muhammad's father was, Muhammad knew certain things, and they carved all that little shit up, and Bilal basically wrote that thing. Bilalianism is what that is, and that's the Hebrew, the Ethiopian. So Gnosticism, Sufism, and Kabbalistic is your esoteric.
Illuminati is an extension of the mystery schools, which started way before Egypt even existed. It was from the land of Chem. And the Emerald Tablet, it starts on Atlantis, the actual island itself. Thoth's dad sends him to the land of Chem. He gets in a ship. When he gets out, there's barbarians. His job is to bring them to a higher level of civilization. From there, when they get to a certain level, he opens up the mystery schools and he begins to teach these people the higher things, dimensions, technology, quantum physics, all the stuff that they need to know of the universe and everything else, how things work, even to a higher level, talking about even manipulating the ether through vibrations and thought. So these mystery schools maintained for many, many years, and they were for invitation only, but they were for enlightenment of the race. Over time, as some of these gods left and disappeared, like Thoth, for example, after he was gone, he became a deity, and many years after he left. And then all of a sudden, the pyramid priests figured out, oh wow, we can use this as a control method. So that was the beginning of one of the very first secrets.
About alchemical sexual alchemy. There's 33 vertebrates in your spine. There's 33 years in the life of Jesus. Christ, yeah. So this substance comes from your medulla, makes the trip down your spine to your sacrum, which is Christ coming down into human form. Yeah. And if you don't squander that essence, that sexual essence, it ascends again and goes back up to heaven, which is your thing. It's also the story of Santa Claus. Why he comes down the chimney is because this juice or this whatever substance actually passes what's called the claustrum, which is where they got Santa Claus. So it goes down the chimney and back up the chimney.
Sacred geometry is the blueprint of all God's creations. Here's an example. Look at the germ of life. Most fruit has this geometry in it, and geometry just means structure. Okra has it, lemons has it, cucumbers got it, and even more. Branches are another form of sacred geometry. Tree branches, lightning bolts, brain cells, and your lung structure. Anything that's in branches produces high amounts of energy. But then one of the cooler ones, we look at peacocks. They have this structure right here. This is how most people feel when they're tripping. They see eyes that are lined up on this grid, which is the same thing that's in dream catchers. And it's no coincidence that dream catchers have peacock feathers on it. Now let's take a look at the golden ratio. This is found all over the universe. From the way you sit in the egg, to hurricanes, to pine cones, to flowers in the Milky Way, even seashells, octopuses, and tails.
I'm about to blow your fucking mind. The first we have a circle, right? This relates back to Nikola Tesla. So a circle is 360 degrees, 3 plus 6 equals 9. Then you cut it in half, 180 degrees, 1 plus 8, 9, 45, 4 plus 5, 9, 2 plus 2 plus 5 equals 9, 11.25 degrees, 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 5 equals 9. No matter how many times you keep cutting this degree in half, it's always going to, the digits will always equal 9, which is the very center of the circle is 9, which is everything, everywhere, all at once, according to mathematics, which is also the observer, you, or God, or whatever you want to put it really. So then we have 3 circles. 3 circles that interlock create the tree of life, the chakra system, the Luciferian hole that leads to the opposite side of the tree of life. All of this incorporates geometry, math, and all of the religions and philosophies. And on top of that, we have sacred geometry. And if we put all the numbers together, they make a circle. But get this, right? So if you have 1, you start from 1, you double it, you have 2. You double that, 4, 4, 8. 8, that equals 16. 1 plus 6, it equals 7, right? 7 double that equals 14, which is 1 plus 4 equals 5. 5 double that, that's 10. 1 plus 0 equals 1. You're back at the beginning of the cycle. Now get this. 3, double it, you get 6. Double it, you get 12. That is 3. 6, double it, you get 12. That is 3. 9, double it, you get 18, that is 9. No matter what, 9 will always equal 9. 6 and 3 will always equal 3. So these 3 numbers are outside of the cycle, which means everything, everywhere, all at once. Eternity, masculine energy, feminine energy, eternity, yin, yang, however you want to put it. It's right there. But then get this, how do you figure out your life? You start with your mind. Number 1, you use your mind to go to your wisdom when you double it. You use your wisdom, which is all possibilities that you can figure out, to then figure out your emotion that you want to act out of, which is kindness. Then double that, you go to 8, which is the acknowledgement of the goal you're trying to achieve. You move from 8 to 7, which is the achievement of that goal by acting urgently. And that brings you back to 1 to completion. And then since 3, 6, and 9 are all outside of it, once you get back to that completion, you just start again with a new cycle. To really fuck you up, you ever wonder why they sit cross-legged to meditate? 1 point, 2 points, 3rd point, your head's the 4th, you form an equilateral triangle when you meditate. This is why 3, 6, 9 is a secret to the universe, because all you need is a triangle to create a circle, a triangle to create a cycle. All you need is a strong foundation and a strong understanding of your passion that is authentic to you as an individual. When you have all 3 of those, you create the circle and you can begin the cycle.
Sacred geometry explained by Disney.
Now divide in half. Plunk again. You see? It's the same tone, 1 octave higher. Now divide the next section. And the next. Pythagoras discovered the octave had a ratio of 2 to 1. With simple fractions, he got this. And from this harmony in numbers developed the musical scale of today.
By golly, you do find mathematics in the darndest places.
You can imagine how excited Pythagoras was when he shared his findings with his pals, a fraternity of eggheads, known as the Pythagoreans. They used to meet in secret to discuss their mathematical discoveries. Only members were allowed to attend. They had a secret emblem, the pentagram. Let's see what the topic is for today. It was our old friend Pythagoras who discovered that the pentagram was full of mathemagic. The 2 shorter lines combined exactly equal the third. And this line shows the magic proportions of the famous golden section. The second and third lines exactly equal the fourth. Once again, we have the golden section. But this is only the beginning. Hidden within the pentagram is a secret for creating a golden rectangle, which the Greeks admired for its beautiful proportions and magic qualities. The star contains the golden rectangle many times over. It's a most remarkable shape. It can mathematically reproduce itself indefinitely. All these rectangles have exactly the same proportions. This figure also contains a magic spiral that repeats the proportions of the golden section into infinity. To the Greeks, the golden rectangle represented a mathematical law of beauty. We find it in their classical architecture. The Parthenon, perhaps one of the most famous of early Greek buildings, contains many golden rectangles.
I love sacred geometry, so I'm actually enjoying this a lot. I'm gonna actually mute this so I can turn it.
These same golden proportions are also found in their sculpture. In the centuries that followed, the golden rectangle dominated the idea of beauty in architecture throughout the Western world. The Cathedral of Notre Dame is an outstanding example. The Renaissance painters knew this secret well. Today, the golden rectangle is very much a part of our modern world. Modern painters have rediscovered the magic of these proportions. Indeed, this ideal proportion is to be found in life itself.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. This is mathematics. I got mathematical figures like that.
Donald.
Get me to it.
No.
Ideal proportion.
Not quite. No, I'm afraid not. Well, we can't all be mathematically perfect.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, I do like to do it.
Put a triangle inside and turn it. Now spin the circle. And what have you got?
A ball.
Yes, a sphere. The shape of things is first discovered in the mind. Slice off the top, and we have a
magnifying glass.
That's right. A lens is a section of a sphere. All optical instruments are created through mathematics. You see, there's a lot more to mathematics than just numbers and equations. Let's get back to our circle and triangle. Roll it, and we have a
wheel.
The circle has been the basis for many of man's important inventions. The mind can create the most amazing things. If we spin the triangle, we have a
cone.
Slice the cone. The cone is full of useful mathematical shapes. Slice it again. Slice it several times. The orbits of all planets and satellites can be found in the cone. No matter how you slice it, it's always mathematics. A slice like this gives us the reflector of a searchlight. A slice like this, the mirror of a giant telescope. A line on a cone, and we have a drill. And a spring. Now you're ticking.
Number, please.
The mind is the birthplace for all of man's scientific achievements. The mind knows no limits when used properly. Think of a pentagram, Donald. Now put another inside, a third, and a fourth. No pencil is sharp enough to draw as fine as you can think, and no paper large enough to hold your imagination. In fact, it is only in the mind that we can conceive infinity. Mathematical thinking has opened the doors to the exciting adventures of science.
I'll be doggone. I've never seen so many doors before.
Each discovery leads to many others, an endless chain.
What's the matter with these doors? Hey! These doors won't open. They're locked.
Of course they are locked. These are the doors of the future, and the key is
mathematics.
Right. Mathematics. The boundless treasures of science are locked behind those doors. In time, they will be opened by the curious and inquiring minds of future generations.
Okay, so what I really like about how Disney explained it is they used a lot of references to music, like drums and music notes, and how they're basically just counting fractions and cutting notes in half and whatever. It helps you realize that everything around, even art that we just kind of create freely because it feels good, whatever, it's still systematic and it still follows a formula. And just like how our bodies are made out of a bunch of cells and organs that follow a system, our ecosystem, our environment, like the circle of life, one animal dies, it feeds another. So it's all a system that just lets you know nothing's random. So I sometimes I definitely feel like people get a little shook and think you're trying to worship numbers or something when you say you're into sacred geometry. But it's definitely not like that at all. It's kind of like you have a connection because every time you walk outside the door, you see God's intricate design that he specifically designed perfectly. So it kind of reminds you like, yeah, God is right here, the creator. So you have a better understanding. You kind of understand how everything's intertwined and everything operates the same, and every time you see something it reminds you, yeah, this is not just a plant, this is a intricately designed plant by something that has all the capacity of knowledge that ever exists and ever could exist. But yeah, I really like sacred geometry. It's really cool.
Your house is a prison. Y'all ever wonder why every house is shaped like a square? Because the masterminds of the architecture of this matrix designed it to be like that. Let me break it down for y'all. Y'all ever watch a movie and when they had like a very powerful person, they put him in something like this, like a box? They put him in something like this because a square is the #1 sacred geometry shape that can constrict your energy all the way. This is why back then, like during slavery time, them boys used to like always have the windows open. They used to have the front door and the back door open because they understood this, being the gods that we were before. Why you think we always created pyramids?
That's the golden ratio, proportions, rectangle, bigger rectangle, smaller rectangle, proportion. It's right here in my room. Anyways.
Structures. Because in this type of structure, your energy can't be trapped in it. It goes up. It has a release point. So when you live in something like this, especially when you on a low vibration, and y'all arguing, you sad, you having the depression, you crying in your house all the time. All of that energy is being trapped inside the box, just like this. So you got all these thoughts coming all over the place. You don't sage the house, you don't open the window, you don't open the front door, let it air out. You don't go to nature, you don't go ground, you don't go outside. You gotta realize the people who create architecture, they understand sacred geometry. And this is something they did not teach us in school. Sacred geometry is basically the study of shapes in the universe and how everything equal up to 1.61. I think that's it, but it's the Fibonacci sequence. So it's a reason behind everything. It's a reason why they make everything squares, because they want you depressed up in that house all day. They want you stressing, and they want you to be stuck in a negative energy wormhole. So y'all start opening y'all windows, start opening y'all back doors, let the air out. Start seeing y'all house, start going to nature, bro. Y'all need to get y'allself back together type shit. Love y'all, boy.
This is how you pull free, unlimited electricity straight from the Earth's atmosphere. So the information I'm about to share with you, it is nothing new, and I'm sure the experts are going to come after me saying that, yeah, it's high voltage, but low current, you can't do anything with it, but who gives a fuck? It's fascinating. Now, before we get into all the applications, let's cover the science behind it. And I hate to hurt people's feelings, but this is not free energy per se, so you can save your crappy craft store magnets and hot glue. You won't need it for this. So right now, as we speak, 24/7, 365 days a year, there is a constant electrical current flowing between the Earth's surface and atmosphere. Our atmosphere, it's made up of many different layers. I'm not going to dive into the details of each specific layer, but the one we will discuss is the ionosphere, which you can see glowing in this image behind me. The ionosphere, it's a spherical shell which surrounds the planet, and it's located in the upper atmosphere, as you can see from the previous image that I shared with you. And there is a pile of electrically charged particles up there, and it stretches about 50 to 400 miles above the surface, reaching the edge of space. And this is where things get very cool. So behind me is an image of the global electrical circuit. Now, during fair weather conditions, when there are no storms in the local area, the positively charged ions, they go down towards the surface of the Earth, which is negatively charged. During the storms, though, it's a different story. Typically, the top of the storm cloud is positively charged, and the bottom is negatively charged. And what's wild in this case is that the negatively charged cloud creates a well of positive charges on the surface of the Earth, and it can pull them around. Now, when the electrical stresses get so extreme, you get lightning. Now, there's more to it, but I'll cover that in another video. And that's pretty wild what I just said. Like, I wonder what you could do with it. Who knows? But anyhow, back on topic. So, fun fact for you. The storms are basically delivering a negative charge to the Earth, balancing out this field. And if all of these storms all over the world just ceased to exist and stopped, the Earth would lose its charge within 10 to 30 minutes. Now, on average, there's an electric field gradient of 100 volts per meter, but it can be lower in other areas. Now, as you increase in elevation, the potential difference increases. So yes, this means, as you can see in the diagram behind me, that you carry an electric charge as well that flows through you, and some evidence points to the fact that it can impact biological life. But we're here for power generation, not to talk about biological life. So anyhow, unfortunately, the current, it's only 10 picoamps per square meter. So if we had an antenna with an aerial that was a square meter, we'd only get 10 picoamps of current. And to put that in perspective, even if we collected 100,000 volts, we would only get 0.001 watts. That's pretty shit. And this is because the density of the flow of charged particles is so low. You know, it's hard to get around. So we have to make up for it by capturing them higher up. We'll get more charges, and we'll also have to improve them higher up. We'll get more charges, and we'll also have to improve the charge collection rate. And some people have had success with this. By using a wire and sharp points, we will compress the equipotential lines at the top of a wire, and that's where the attraction will be the strongest. You can see it in the diagram right there. We can then add additional sharp points to further increase the field, and then the charges will bunch up even more. So then a field basically exists between the positive ions and electrons, and what happens is the electrons move up and combine with the ions, neutralizing them, causing an electric current to flow. And again, the current is weak as hell. But that doesn't mean it's impossible. It might just mean that someone hasn't figured it out yet. But there was a gentleman in the early 1900s who was a brilliant inventor, and his name was Herman Paulson. This is his patent right behind me. And he developed a method for using atmospheric electricity to generate power. I mean, substantial amounts of power, so he claimed. And it's pretty cool reading the patent because he worked on many different ways to increase the ionization rate by using radioactive materials, which he put on the pointed ends, and he also had flames up there to help with charge collection. And another thing that's pretty amazing about this was that this wasn't just a way to collect static electricity. I mean, he worked out a whole power generation system to collect the static electricity and then convert that high voltage, low current energy to other frequencies and current strengths. I think it's brilliant, and I think all you guys should look at the patent. Now, I'm not sure about the output power he obtained, but he does mention in the patent installations that could generate 1 to 100 kilowatts. Now, fast forward to recent times, and there's another company called Cefi that claimed to have built a generator that could pull this electrostatic charge and create usable power with it, you know, not just low current, high voltage. And they have a press release here. This was over 10 years ago now, but they claimed that they had an electrostatic motor that was going to be able to generate like industrial amounts of energy, but I haven't heard much about it. So that being said, this is something that you can do yourself to generate power from the atmosphere. You can find quite a few different YouTube videos with guys doing this stuff using drones and just magnetic wire connected to the earth and through different gadgets and whatnot. It's pretty cool. I mean, they power static motors and other toys to demonstrate the energy being generated. But again, this is low current, so it might be up to one of you guys to figure this out. But here is the issue. So if we do figure out a way to harness all of this electrical charge, what the hell is that going to do to our planet? I mean, how's that going to affect the Earth's magnetic field? We don't know. Who knows? This is how you pull free, unlimited electricity.
Okay, so look. Okay, so look, right here, all you have is a charger with 2 copper windings on side of it connected to the part that you would stick inside the wall on the charger. And you can see here, it's gonna light up and charge. So just by having 2 magnets, you are conducting electromagnetic electricity, basically. You're conducting current and sending it to your phone so it can charge with no power, no wires, or nothing. That's free energy transfer just by using wire, copper wire, and 2 magnets.
What?
No tricks or gimmicks.
Why would you ever have a dead phone if I give you magnets? That's what I would do. I'll just give you magnets. You'll never have a dead phone. I don't want to hear it. They should have never told me this. Ooh, woo.
Did you invent?
I invented the EHG, or Energy Horizon Gatherer, and it's an energy initiative to collect cosmic energy.
And how would you explain cosmic energy to someone who's never heard of it before?
Well, simply, cosmic energy is the expansion of space that is reverberated out. So space expands, and as it does, it releases cosmic radiation.
There's a CIA document that came out. Everybody just started talking about it now. It's called the Adam and Eve story. It basically explains how the world is going to end. Has it been true? It makes sense. They say the world is going to end because the poles, like, North and South Pole, they shift every 12,000 to 15,000 years. And once they shift, it causes like a giant apocalypse. Big earthquakes, giant tsunamis. Once the apocalypse happens, we go right back to the Stone Age. And it said that our first humans, like as us, it was 10,000 years ago. So if you think about it, 10,000 years ago, we're in year 2000. We're at 12,000 years right now. And now you see like global warming and shit like that. Like in the book, it says that we are the 6th civilization that came out of the apocalypse. So we just get to a certain point in life and then it just hard reset. And that explains a lot because remember how you were saying that the Sahara Desert used to be green and like the Antarctica used to have forests like that? Yeah. That's what happens. Like it switches
everything, flips. Yeah.
So now like some places turn cold, some places turn hot. That's why they was talking about like the flood in the Bible like that. That's probably what happened to Atlantis and shit
I was
like
just
that.
about to say Atlantis. It would make sense for a city in the water if the water wasn't there before.
This is one of the craziest conspiracy theories. The Malaysian flight 370 that disappeared with 239 passengers on it. Until this day, nobody knows what happened. So this was a very common flight. They were flying from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. And as they're flying, the pilot communicates with the tower. And the last words he says are, "Good night, Malaysia." 1 minute and 43 seconds later, right here, it disappears off of all the radars. For a plane to disappear off a civilian radar, it can only mean that the plane lost complete power or that it was manually turned off. But if a plane loses power, it wouldn't have been able to travel as far as it did from right here the moment it lost signal. Some people think aliens were behind this or a black hole, but I think it was a cover-up. Part 2.
Real talk, and there are only a couple people who understand this. Gravity Falls is not your normal children's show. Creator, Alex, I think his name was, he was trying to tell a whole generation of kids something. They were trying to let us know about something that's going on behind the scenes. The Illuminati, all of that type of stuff. And I know that Gravity Falls had an ending. It didn't get canceled halfway through. That was the intended ending. But I really think that's the reason we didn't see the kids next summer. Somebody somewhere didn't want Gravity Falls to put more of this type of stuff out. All I know is just west of Weird is not too far from where you're at right now. Tell me I'm lying.
What's a conspiracy theory that you 1,000% believe in?
Okay, hear me out. It sounds weird. Mattress Firm is laundering money or doing something super, super sketchy. Mattress Firm likes to cluster their stores together. Just look. This is in my hometown. These are not even a minute apart from each other. There's 3 of them on the same road. Same city, same thing. And here, example again. Outside of my city, this is in Texas, there are 10 on the same road. I don't know how spread out these are, but 10. I've never been in a Mattress Firm my entire life. There can't be that much of a need for mattresses. The weird thing too, and you'll just have to take my word on this, when you drive past a Mattress Firm, there's never cars in the parking lot. And if there is, there's like maybe one. The Mattress Firm website says there's 2,500 stores across America and about 8,500 employees. That means there should be at least 3 people working a store. On top of that, they've disclosed accounting irregularities. Oh my god, I could talk about this all day.
So does this man look familiar to you guys at all? Well, if you recognize him or have seen him in your dreams before, you are not alone. You might be experiencing this phenomenon with tens of thousands of other people. So in January of 2006, a pretty well-known psychiatrist in New York City started seeing a patient who said that she was dreaming of a man who she had never met. While the client described what this man looked like, the therapist took a sketch, which eerily turned out looking something like this. In her dreams, he would give her advice about her private life and seemed to know every single one of her problems. After the client had left, the therapist had left the sketch out. Another one of her clients saw it and came forward stating that they had also been dreaming of that man as well, even though this guy had never even met him in real life. So the therapist then decides to send the sketch out to his colleagues who also have clients who are struggling with reoccurring dreams. And to his surprise, more patients came forward talking about how they had been visited by him in their dreams. And each of the clients eerily referred to him as this man. A bunch of different variations of sketches of him appeared, so much so that a website was created in order to put all of these findings in one place. And at this point, more than 2,000 people had come forward stating that they had had dreams of this man. And in each individual's dream, he was described as being a benevolent person. In some dreams, he might be chasing people and then show them the way out. In other dreams, he might be flying with someone. You will literally never guess the reason behind why this is happening.
How is it possible that over 200 people go missing off of cruise ships a year? And what's crazier is that cruise ships aren't legally obligated to tell us how many people actually go missing. Do you really think they would tell us the truth? I mean, that would come in between their money, right? So for those who don't know, cruise ships are a big ship that have a lot of attractions on them. This is why so many families bring their children to them. They're supposed to be very secure. They're technically in a closed area, so people can't really get too far, right? They check your luggage every time you board on and off. So if they have all of these security measures, how is it possible that so many people go missing? In part 2, we're gonna get into the theories, and me, it seems like a cover-up.
There's new evidence saying that Jimmy Butler might be Michael Jordan's long-lost, abandoned son. And this has to be the craziest NBA conspiracy we've ever seen, so follow and let's go. The story states that Jimmy Butler was raised by his birth mom till the age of 13. He says that his mother had threw him out for not liking how he looked. So Jimmy ended up crashing at a few different friends' houses until one of their mothers finally took him in. But here's where the connection lies. Michael Jordan is said to have an abandoned son, and Jimmy Butler's dad is said to have abandoned him at birth. His mother even stated that his father left him to protect his name. And a new recent report claims that MJ had stepped out of his marriage to have this abandoned child with a different woman. And in fear of sabotaging his family, he left that woman and paid her off for the next 13 years. And now this is where the two stories line up. Jimmy Butler's mom recently revealed the real reason that she kicked him out was because the payments she was receiving stopped coming in. And reminder again, Jimmy was kicked out at the age 13. And just look at their pictures side by side. These two are eerily similar. But again, this is just a theory. So let us know what you think and follow All Hail B-Ball for more.
I didn't know he was kicked out and treated like that, though. That's sad.
Why does the entirety of the Denver International Airport have barbed wire facing inwards? Almost like a prison, it's trying to keep something in. The Denver International Airport is home to so many conspiracy theories. I went there several times within my own traveling, and whether you believe the conspiracy theories or not, it is so hard to argue that the entire airport is not suspicious. DIA was built as a replacement to the Stapleton Airport, even though nothing was wrong with the airport before. It was supposed to be done in 1993, but it didn't end until 1995, the final budget being $4.8 billion. And if you guys don't know this, that exceeds normal airport price. And to put it into even more perspective, this airport and its grounds are bigger than Manhattan. So what was the purpose of making it so big and expensive? The builders for the DIA worked under multiple contractors, so it's rumored that no one knows the true scope of this project. But maybe the architects wanted it this way. It's filled with strange markings, underground tunnels, and apocalyptic themes.
That one conspiracy theory that they know is true, and mine is that Dr. Pepper is a combination of cola and root beer. What?
Why is he making that face?
No, 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 no! This is gonna make you feel crazy. Doja Cat might have had something to do with what happened to him. After Matthew's tragic passing, Doja Cat deleted all of her videos except for this one. So obviously the comments on that video are crazy. People are like, what? Did you have something to do with this? She now deletes the video. There's nothing up now. Take a closer look at this logo and you'll see that something is off. Now the word friends is 7 letters, and in between each letter is a dot that represents each of the friends. You can see how it correlates to each one here. The dot in between the D and the E is gone. Why is one of them missing? This is just a conspiracy theory. I like talking about conspiracy theories. This is not a disrespectful thing. And this was a promotion for her new music video called Demons. And we all know how she's been recently, and all of the other conspiracy theories. Now I get that Friends is a popular TV show, but like, the timing's really weird. You can't deny that. Everything is intentional. How would this have been an error? Think about the kind of team she has. How would they forget the first dot? But the promotional photo came out exactly 2 months before what happened to him. And you remember he did all these weird Instagram posts right before he passed away. I made a post about that if you don't know what I'm talking about. Like, all of this weird stuff makes you wonder if he saw it coming.
That's crazy. That's
I've never heard of this conspiracy before. Paul McCartney from the Beatles actually died in 1966. On November 9th, 1966, his car skidded off an icy road and hit a pole. And the theory is he didn't make it. So they hired someone who looked, sounded, and acted exactly like him. They covered this up so it wouldn't affect the Beatles' successful careers and they could continue as usual. They started to include hints of his death in their music because they felt guilty. I can post the examples if you want. And this is not meant to be disrespectful. I just read it online and thought it was interesting. What are your thoughts? And the theory is he didn't make it. So they hired someone.
Paul McCartney died in the 60s and they hired someone to take his spot. So essentially the conspiracy is that in 1966, Paul McCartney was leaving Abbey Road, you know, where the recording studio was, and he got into a car wreck that night, and that they covered it up, and that the Beatles actually held a look-alike contest for Paul McCartney, and the winner like took his spot. It was one of the biggest bands in the world. They were making so much money and so many people loved them. So the Beatles have put hidden lyrics within their music. Like for instance, there's a song called I'm the Walrus, when walrus means corpse. And then a couple years later, they released another song where John Lennon said, here's another clue for you all, the walrus is Paul. About a year after his supposed death, they came out with Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. It's a very popular album they released. And a fan actually put a mirror halfway across the drum set where it says that, and it actually says 119 he die. Between he die, there's an arrow pointing straight to Paul McCartney.
Is an imposter. When the Beatles album Sgt. Pepper was released, people noticed that there was something odd about Paul McCartney, specifically how his ear shape had changed, sparking a theory that the Paul McCartney that everyone knows today actually died in a car crash and was replaced. Due to his popularity and not wanting the public to be heartbroken, the Beatles ran a look-alike competition to find someone who could replace McCartney, and they found someone. However, the Beatles started to feel quite guilty and started leaving little clues to hint at the tragedy. Some of the findings that led to this theory was that the cover of the Sgt. Pepper album consists of flowers in the shape of Paul's left-handed bass, while the Hindu god Shiva was pointing at McCartney. And on Abbey Road, McCartney is the only one that was walking on a step, barefooted, leading some fans wondering if Paul McCartney is an imposter.
The craziest conspiracy theory about the Beatles is that Paul McCartney died young and the other 3 members replaced him with a look-alike in the early days of the band.
So this started some rumor. He's dead. It was a little bit strange because people did start looking at me like, is it him? Or A very good double.
The theory goes that the members got in a fight during a late-night studio session on November 9th, 1966. Paul stormed out, left, and got in a very bad, deadly car accident. They held a look-alike contest and replaced him with a man named Billy Shears. Fans were quick to notice differences like his ears and his mouth. This rumor was front-page news everywhere, and so much so that reporters from Life magazine illegally showed up to Paul's house just to see if they could get footage of him still alive, and Paul was pissed. Paul actually did the cover to try to put the theory to rest with the front page saying Paul is still with us. Meanwhile, the Beatles were giving hints that he was actually dead. He was wearing an arm patch in the next album photo shoot that says OPD, or officially pronounced dead. The next album cover, if you reflect the centerpiece, it has the numbers Roman numeral 119, so 11-9, says he died. And on the backside, Paul is facing away. Ringo is pointing directly to a sentence that says Wednesday morning at 5 o'clock. And November 9th in 1966 was a Wednesday, and he died at 5 o'clock. On the famous Abbey Road cover, Paul is the only one with his right foot forward, and the car in the back has a license plate that says 28F. Just how old Paul would be in this photo if he lived. If you play Strawberry Fields backwards, you could hear John say, "I buried Paul." This part's crazy. They released a song called I Am the Walrus. Walrus in poetry can also be referred to as a corpse. And then in their song Glass Onion, John sings the line, well, here's another clue for you all. The walrus was Paul. Why would he say that?
Well, here's another clue for you all. The walrus was Paul.
I'm gonna show you what Paul has to say about this nowadays, but before I do, make sure you follow so you finally know the craziest conspiracy theories about each of these celebrities and request you want to see next.
Couldn't see the connection.
That was chilling. I had to see more in that. That was really chill.
So I don't.
Do they really have a number for everything? Seriously? They have a name for... How long does this go? I know they playing with me. Still going. Alright. How long is this? How long is it going for? Huh?
I wonder how many dead one-planet civilizations there are out there in the cosmos. Maybe they're among us, I don't know. Yes, it's funny, the universe appears to be 13.8 billion years old. Earth, like 4.5 billion years old. In another 500 million years or so, the sun will expand and probably evaporate the oceans and make life impossible on Earth. Which means that if it had taken consciousness 10% longer to evolve, it would never have evolved at all. But I think this is one of the great questions in physics and philosophy, where are the aliens? Maybe they're among us, I don't know.
Do you think we'll make contact with aliens within the next 50 years?
Well, that's a really tough one to say.
There's a conspiracy that's so intricate that it's gained a cult following. I've heard of it, and so have you, but it's getting out of hand. 9 months ago, a post appeared on Reddit. Something really bothered me about this post, with 0 upvotes. The responses to the latter half. It was a catastrophic flood of deranged theories, responses based around the idea of a new world order, explaining that The Simpsons is the vessel used by the ruling elite to tell us what's coming. The show's creator is a Freemason, Jeffrey Epstein, September 11th. These theories are endless, but they still leave the question open. The predictions. How are they doing it?
You've probably heard the conspiracy theory that The Simpsons can predict everything about the future.
Who are the world's greatest
Accurate prediction. Actually predicted the future?
So for the past 4 months, we've been searching for an answer. We listened to common theories and we had assumptions of our own. We went the extra mile, collecting data that we couldn't find on the internet, hiring statisticians and interviewing experts. But when we ran the numbers, one explanation stood above the rest.
So everyone is wrong.
One that was left out of the mainstream narrative almost entirely. There's a conspiracy that's so intricate that it's...
Oh, they gave everything but the context. I hate that. I sat through a minute and then it didn't really get to the point.
Crazy what if theories. What if whenever we hiccup is someone from another life trying to revive us? I don't know why I picked up my glasses because I'm more blind if I go like this. What if your friends are actually just a detective and is trying to get as much information about you as possible? His friends come and go. So what if that one friend is just... Girl! What if you're the only person left on Earth and everybody around us is just imaginary people and things we made up so we don't feel lonely? Well, I would hope not. What if deja vu is just remembering things from your past life? Imagine, bro. What if you hear someone calling your name but nobody's calling you? It's just your family member trying to wake you up from a coma and your life is just a dream. Stop. What if you saved a random person from committing suicide just by being nice and friendly? I hate doing these because they be giving me about thoughts like thinking about is someone.
For everything you've done to me. For everything you've done to me. Fuck you. Fuck you. Stupid. That's my name. Don't wear it up.
So if you jump in the pool, is you wet or is you dry?
I'm swimming. If I put water in my hand, is my hand wet or am I holding water?
Both.
Why they call it a jumpsuit when I'm not jumping?
Because you jump in the suit.
Let me ask you this. If I drive into your car on purpose, is it an accident? Why they call it autopilot when I'm driving? It should be auto driver. You need to start asking yourself questions like, can you cry underwater? Hey, why they call it cruise control when I'm on land?
Damn.
Nobody's talking about this.
Ooh, I like to talk about it. This is actually the conspiracy theory that got me started with all of these conspiracy theories. This is Walt Disney. He was born in December 5th, 1901 and died December 15th, 1966. He was 65 years old. Get into the conspiracy theory of Walt Disney is going to take me some time, but I'm going to give you some bullet points on it and you can do the research on your own. But if you was to Google Walt Disney being thawed out in December, this is what you will get. Weird that they will go out of the way to fact check this. But you Google it and a fact check will come up and it'll say claimed by social media users and it's false. Let me take you down a different type of road. This year marks Disney's 50th anniversary, ladies and gentlemen. In 1965, Walt Disney started working on a new project called the Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow. But due to his heavy smoking, he got lung cancer and died. R.I.P. Disney's dying words were Kurt Russell.
Deep in the middle of Virginia sits one of the creepiest things on Google Maps. Over 40 abandoned statues of previous presidents with absolutely no explanation. Some of the statues are over 20 feet tall. Included is the address. Happy exploring.
Imagine you drop down into a room, and in that room, a floor-to-ceiling screen plays a video. You can choose to swipe up, and a new video will come in its place. But what if I told you it's not the video on the screen that's moving upwards? The entire room is moving down, like an elevator. The videos are attached together like one long ribbon that you can ride down to infinity. Sometimes I like to visualize social media in a physical space in these abstract ways. Like, if my phone is 6 inches long, on average, how far down the ribbon would I get if I scrolled on TikTok for an hour? I'm going to guess that I probably scroll through about 4 videos per minute. That's factoring in the ones that I skip right over and the ones that I might watch for a full 5 minutes. So each minute I'd move down about 2 feet. That means that I move down roughly 120 feet each hour, which doesn't sound like much, but that means that if I average 2 hours of scrolling per day, which is probably being modest, after a week I'd be 840 feet deep. That's close to the viewing deck of the Eiffel Tower. In 1 month I would be past the top of the Burj Khalifa, and in just under 4 months, I would have made it to the Titanic.
What's a conspiracy theory that absolutely blows your mind?
Not exactly sure if this is conspiracy theory, but I read this about 6 months ago. What if when we die, the light at the end of the tunnel is a light to another hospital room? There we are born, and the only reason you come out crying is because you remember everything from your past life, and you're crying at the fact that you died and lost everything. As you grow and start to forget your past life, and you focus on the life you have now, but patches of memory stay behind, and that memory causes deja vu.
I guess the news just don't want to mention this. So, y'all, trees are walking now. Plants are talking telepathically to humans and everything around you. Water has memories and feelings. Y'all thought I forgot, didn't you? They already closed, y'all. This is Cleve Baxter. He was from the CIA. He was a polygraph expert. I know you probably think, like, they don't have brains or functions that show emotions. Cleve thought that too, y'all. Y'all know that lie detector test that they hooked Wiz Khalifa up to? Well, Cleve did the same thing to his plants. He started thinking, how can I get a reaction out of this plant? He was like, wait, I know, I'll set it on fire. And the plant's polygraph activity started going crazy, scratching up and down. He was only thinking about it, y'all. Plants do produce a sound that's undetectable by a human ear when they're stressed out. So my question is, what do y'all think nature and outside is going through with all this bad stuff happening on the earth? And we're not gonna sit here and act like y'all don't see these trees walking. In the 60s and even now, y'all really used to make fun of hippies. When they used to say spread peace, spread love, keep the world happy. When they used to be on LSD in nature saying everything was alive, colorful. You know, LSD, what they used to use on MK Ultra patients. Makes you wonder why they made all them psychedelics illegal. And don't even get me started on water, y'all. Scientists have even said that the human consciousness has an effect on the molecular structure of water. So what do y'all know about Earth? It is more going on than what is being told. That's all I'ma say. Y'all stay dangerous. Fuck around and find out.
I took this out of video before the government took my water-powered car.
Running on water. So this is the water tank. This holds 7.5 gallons of water. It recycles the water. So basically, as long as you keep this filled, it will continue running. This is your pump. This is the out of the tank into the pump to feed it to the front of the car through this. This is the return line. This is the drain. So with this line, if we follow this, it runs down underneath the car. Goes through the heat exchanger, which is under here, which cools the water so that it runs better. Comes up from this line and into the top of the motor. This I can't talk about too much because this is where everything happens, but it dumps into here, and that is what makes the car run on the water. The recycled water that isn't used runs through this line, which parallels the other line that was down here. Runs back up and into here. So it's a big loop. continues looping, and
Protect
that's how
him
we get
at
this
all
thing to work.
costs.
Got some
Protect
antifreeze in
this
there
man.
because it was cold outside, and I wanted to make sure that it didn't freeze.
I love to see it, but protect him, because they don't love to see it. They want to swear up and down that we have an energy problem.
I took this.
No cat, this probably the craziest shit I seen on Google Earth, TikTok. I ain't find it, so don't come for me. So if you go just north of Los Angeles, California, I don't know what the hell this thing is, but if you zoom in, it looks like a portal to another dimension. If you zoom in even closer, man, it looks like there's a portal right in the front entrance of it. But what makes it even crazier, man, look at this. You zoom over here, bro, it's fucking all tanks in the area. Like, what y'all need all these tanks for, yo? Tell me it's not trying to hide something. Why you got all these military tanks guarding something like this? Here's what I need y'all to do, man. Anybody that live in Los Angeles or even Ridgecrest, California, that's what it's closest to. You know what I mean? Go check this out, man. Us TikTokers need to know what the hell going on. Look, Ridgecrest right here. It's probably one of the few.
Telling people to go check it out and live by there.
Crazy.
Yeah, if you want to get gunned down.
I took this out.
That Area 51 isn't where we think it is. It's actually a little bit closer to home. So I believe we are Area 51. And that military base in the middle of the desert that no one can go, the one where you can get shot on sight, is the exit. Why do you think they can shoot you on sight? Because they don't want us to leave.
I'll go first.
I mean, to be honest, when you get so rich, that's like the safest way to be safe. That's like the only way to be safe, is if people think you're off the radar, you're gone. So I'm not surprised that people who are extremely rich fake their deaths. Like, I don't know, you could live a great life off the radar. That's crazy though. But with that being said, I'm going to, I'm going to call it a night. Today was a great stream. I had so much fun. I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe on both my Twitch and my YouTube. I would appreciate it so much. And please leave your review, leave a comment, tell me what you think, give me some feedback. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitch. Share with your friends, like the video, and yeah, I had fun. See you next week. Bye.